Welcome back to the Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Ren. I got a video today from Passport OG. The word no. It is so powerful, especially for us men and, saying no to women. I don't think a lot of men actually truly know the power that it wields. Being able to walk away makes you so much more desirable to most women. It's ridiculous. So please like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And let's get to that chow time.
A nice broadcast of the...
Shout outs to Married with Children. I actually hated the show when I was a young kid because I didn't fully understand everything. When I got older, I fully understand everything. It's probably one of the best goddamn shows when I was growing up, for sure.
Masculine feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Maam, National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood.
One of the biggest challenges for passport bros going overseas are challenges like this one particularly. This is a scene of two people coming in from shopping. I believe it's from a movie. I'm not familiar with the movie, but basically he comes in, he's beat, and she says, "How can I help you relax? What should I do? Maybe make some tea or whatever." But what's important is, although your attention might go straight to her because she's really attractive, she's very feminine, she has a very feminine aura, pay attention to the gentleman's behavior, his posture. He's not fawning all over her. He's just the guy. He walks in, "Hey, I did what I had to do today. I'm going to sit down and relax." And it's a posture that for a lot of Americans, if we're in the presence of a woman that we might deem our ideal woman like her, we may not have the frame, if you will, to do the things that's necessary to make a relationship with a girl like her work. And one of the key indicators to make a relationship with your quote unquote dream girl work is to have the ability to say the word no. If you're a kid from the 90s and you remember television, it was a lot more risque and a lot less PC than it is now. And if you watch Fox,
dude, Chappelles Show would never be able to air on the fucking TV nowadays, and that was in the 2000s.
Fox, of course you watch shows like In Living Color. Another show on Fox was Married with Children. And it was basically the show of a married man with a wife who doesn't cook. He's disgruntled. His kids don't appreciate him. But one thing about Al Bundy, the star of the show, was
4 touchdowns in one game. Ever hear of Al Bundy? Polk High, All City, 4 touchdowns in one game? I presume you're referring to my 4 touchdowns in one game?
What's interesting about the show Married with Children, aside from the fact that it comes from an era where you could make jokes that you could never get away with on network television these days, is that the writers almost foresaw brewing difficulties between men and women, not just in relationships, but in a marriage. And
I think Passport Pops is right. It was great foresight for the writers of this show.
The show basically is a disgruntled husband who can't get his wife to cook and a wife who says that her husband doesn't make enough money. And in this particular episode, the guy, the husband, he stands up for himself and he says, "No."
I would reveal my true identity, but for political reasons I cannot. But do not take me lightly. I once scored 4 touchdowns in a single game for Polk High.
I want to say to all men, whether you're dating, engaged, or married, or divorced, 2 things, or maybe 3, but 2 things you should never, ever, ever attempt to do. Not only should you not do it, but you shouldn't even attempt to do it.
There are a wide variety of quotes about learning from other people's mistakes. And one of the beauties of the internet is that we can have access to a wide variety of people on a wide variety of subjects.
This is correct.
We may not agree with them 100% of the time on politics or on race.
I love how Passport Pop puts this. Yes, I may not agree with Fashion Fit. I may not agree with everything about Auburn Preach. I may not agree about everything that all of the content creators that I put onto my channel. But some of the things they say, some of the messaging that they have in these particular videos that I do, it matters. It can help someone. It can teach someone something. This is why I kind of go around, try to get all views, different type of content creators, men, women, old, young. It's a great mash of knowledge that you can just access. I try my best to access the best pieces of knowledge from everyone and, encompass it into my channel. But yes, learn from others. Learn from my goddamn mistakes. Learn from Passport OG's mistakes. Learn from freaking, Alexander Grace's mistakes. These are all people that you have resources from, or two. You can just watch a few videos, take a couple things. You may not agree with everything. Just take what you think you can use, internalize it, and process it yourself, and move on and go to the next thing from someone else.
But if we have a proper filter, we can use their experiences to learn for ourselves. And in this case, Jesse Lee Peterson drops an absolute gem for any guys, including Passport Bros, who get in the room with maybe their dream girl and they want to make a relationship work.
And that is please your wife or hold on to her. Never, ever, never, ever, ever, as long as you walk this earth, never. If your wife want to leave, you can tell her why she shouldn't go, but don't be desperate and try to make her stay. You will live to regret it.
I harp on this, but it's important. If you're a young guy in the late 80s or early 90s, our baseline programming is Boyz II Men. It's Please Don't Go. And if you're in the room with that girl that you think is your dream girl and there's some resistance or it starts to not work out, your baseline default reaction is going to be, please don't go, baby. It's not going to be, you know what, you're cool, but, I got to go do me. If you don't want to be here, it's cool. And we have to exercise that muscle. And that's what Jesse Lee Peterson is telling us.
And the second thing, the more you try to please her, the worse she gets. She hates you more.
These are great advices. This is what I've learned through my own mistakes, through my own marriage, and through my own, takes with women.
It's not meant to be that way. That way was not created by God. That was created by weak men.
What's interesting about 90s music, and I'll call it programming actually, is that it taught us as men to be emotionally available. I'm ready to love you. I will cry for you. These kinds of themes that say...
I didn't grow up listening to these musics, and I listened to rock when I was growing up, so it was like grunge and stuff, so emo type shit. So I didn't listen to trying to pick up women, trying to be nice to women stuff.
If you're not happy, I'll do what it takes to keep you happy in a relationship, or do what it takes to make you stay. And for a lot of guys, when you get around that dream girl and you display this behavior, it simply doesn't compute.
We're in, buddy. The lawyer says we can be at church.
Jefferson, you know how women hate to see us happy? Look sad.
You can understand why a show like this would not make it on network television in 2023. But the premise of the show is basically Al Bundy leads a group of guys who are basically unhappy with the way that the relationships are going, and they want to kind of take some of the power back. And so you see the gentleman next to him with a man in training shirt, and it says, "No Ma'am, National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood." Clearly that's not going to fly as humor in 2023, but in the 90s, that's humor that we're talking about at the lunch table at high school.
Are you that no ma'am guy on the news?
The thing is, you can be the guy with the money. You can be accomplished. You could be the guy that goes to the gym every day and has ripped muscles. But if you're this guy,
I'm being called on in my life to love people.
And you have the opportunity to be with your dream girl, and you're in the room with this woman, and you start the crying and begging her not to leave, you're gonna mess it up.
All of these letters are from guys that support your cause. And the guys at work are prepared to put down their mail pouches and follow you anywhere. Reverend Al?
Happy wife gives you a happy life, that's for sure, 100%. So you make sure that your wife, your partner is happy.
So if the wife is in a bad mood or is not doing okay, the kids are not going to do okay. Like, for example, with me, when my mum was, you know, going through things or upset, she wasn't able to nurture us the way she could. And sometimes that would affect us, not in a big way. So imagine if, you know, a woman is not happy in a relationship, she's not able to do her wifely duties properly. So therefore, the woman's life, the kid's life, and the man's life is not going to be able to, like, you know, well, the way I see it, I feel like the wife is the sun and everything orbits around it. She's what keeps things moving. So if that's not working out, nothing else is going to work out.
We have been socialized as men to place the happiness of the women that we're with at the forefront of the relationship. Now, I'm not saying that you should not ever worry about the happiness of your woman, but to make that the end all be all, the most important part of the relationship is a relationship killer. And
that's where I fucked up. That was probably one of the biggest goals in my relationship and with my ex-wife was her happiness. And, like, keeping her happy, keeping her, you know, like, nice. And it backfired. It really did.
And I can tell you that from experience. Sometimes the most important word that you can say is no. I make this video to detail the fact that I myself have been with maybe a couple of different women that may have been, in my opinion, the perfect woman for me. And one of the biggest mistakes I made was putting her happiness at the forefront, paramount to the relationship. And so when things got difficult, either for me or for the relationship, my default went to, how do I make her happy? And not, what is it that I have to do to be the person that she wants to be with? That difference is what has torpedoed many of my relationships, because instead of worrying about what she needed, I should have just been the guy that either she didn't want to walk away from, or the guy that the next woman who, if she passed me up, would want. That lesson is one that I think many young men, especially coming from America, that are going to be passport bros, should remember. Be able to say no, or better yet, no ma'am.
Damn, that was some damn good advice from Passport OG and Jesse Peterson. No. Tell the truth, I've built myself up a little bit to be able to not say no to a lot of things. You know, if someone says they want to go out, yeah. They want to go do something, yeah. Because I made my life a little bit easier to be able to say yes to things. But doesn't mean I don't say no. When a woman asks me, oh, can you take me here? And it's something that's a little outrageous in a sense, I just say no. Like, no, you can go do that with someone else. You know, I just don't do that. And a lot of women really do respect men that can say no. Please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.